Hi Flosstube, it's Kim with Kim J Inspired. Should I say surprise? I have decided I'll just do videos when I have time because sometimes it's just hard to squeeze them in. I shot one in January. It was the first one I'd done in a while, and I thought I would start doing them every other week. That may or may not work. So if you are new here and you're going, what is this all about? Well, this is a channel about cross stitch, and I'm a cross stitcher. So there. Welcome if you're new here. Hopefully you'll enjoy yourself. There's no frills here. You can see how plain this wall is. We are redecorating our house, so we have not decided what the walls are going to look like yet. So I took down some things that were hanging up because they were kind of glaring. I'm also trying to find a better place to shoot videos, so I don't know if this is going to be my normal spot. But if you're new, I hope that if you are new here and you like what you see, that you subscribe and hit like. For those of you who have been watching since all those horrible videos in the beginning, thank you for watching again, and I really appreciate you guys. It's nice to know that there are people who enjoy watching what you do. I don't even know what number of video this is. I stopped numbering them, but I didn't number it last time. I'm going to try to fix that later today when I upload this video. Also, for those of you who are new here, I talk with my hands. So we have been hiking today, and that's why I'm kind of still in my hoodie and a t-shirt. If you're following us on our travel channel, we're really doing a lot more hiking. By the way, I'll try to link the channel below at southernplacesandfaces.com. We've been looking for new trails. I'm trying to get some pounds off that I have gained. Obviously, I have more chins than I did during my videos last year. It's just I gained a lot of weight in my face. It's just the way it is. So we were hiking on a new trail not too far from home. It wasn't in our plans. We were actually going to do some going to some museums today. And we ended up on this trail, and it was a lot of fun, and we will go back. And as I said, we put pictures on our southernplacesandfaces.com website. I have a lot of stuff because I've had a lot of finishes and a lot of things, and I started shooting this first and realized I didn't tell you guys fabrics and things, and I do have notes, but I just couldn't follow them right. So let's start out with what I fully finished, the one thing I fully finished since I saw you guys last. So I'm not going to pull out the pattern because this is fully finished. I'm going to try, there's a glare, so I'm going to try to get it. This is called Coffee is My Valentine. Yeah, you can see our television over there. This is a pattern out of Just Cross Stitch magazine. I think it's still the current edition. I stitched this on some 18 count fabric from Color and Cotton, and I used a lot of my own flosses, mostly Color and Cotton flosses as well. I cannot remember this fabric. It was something I just purchased from them when they said they had a sale. I don't know if you can see it better if I hold it back here. And I just framed this. This was Steve's Valentine's Day gift. Steve is sitting over there. There's not enough room for him to come on today. So he'll probably say hi to you at some other point. But I like this, and it was kind of true. Steve is quite the coffee drinker. And this was a fun and quick stitch. I did this in a weekend. Again, this is I wish I could remember, but it is a Color Cotton 18 count with a lot of my own flosses, mostly Color and Cotton because I have a good Color and Cotton floss stash. I did another Valentine's Day pattern. This is one you guys have seen quite often last year. Look how close I'm just here as I am. I really didn't I haven't cleaned up since we got back from hiking. So this is Loads of Love. This is a pattern from Little Stitch Girl. And I still haven't figured out how to fix that color printer upstairs, and I will be hopefully I'll work on that next week. So I'm going to just put this up here. I decided not to do all the little extra hearts around there. I kind of wanted it to be finished. This is on some 32 count fabric that I bought at, it would help if I would put it right side up. 32 count fabric I bought at Hobby Lobby. I'm calling that finished. I have no idea how I'm going to fully finish it, but since Valentine's Day is now a little less than a year away, I have some time to think about it. I haven't been doing a lot of full finishes because I just haven't had time. We're traveling next weekend, so I will take stitching. Whether or not I get to any, I don't know. I did buy another Valentine's Day pattern that I didn't really get to this year. I just love this. So this was, yeah, that's upright. Annabella's, she also has a Flosstube. I'll link it below. And she also has an Etsy shop. I buy a lot of stuff from her. I thought this was really cute with all the cardinals. I just did not get to it. And I decided to hold it. And I'm looking, so I will hold it for next year and stitch it next year. I'm looking very forward to stitching that next year. That was really all of the Valentine's Day stitching that I did this year. In the past, I've seemed to have done a little bit more, but not this year. A lot of things that I've finished, you would have seen before if you watched me last year. This is one I'm really proud of. This was on my Whipco board, and I will have some other projects I will talk about from Whipco coming up. So this is from my Whipco board. I've had this pattern. This is a 7-year-old magazine from Just Cross Stitch. This came out in 2015. I almost said 1915. That tells you how old I am. That I can remember the 1900s, but not 1915. I'm not that old, okay? Even my grandmother wasn't that old. So this is called Love and Hope. And I just loved this. I really did. And I actually purchased the fabric and the flosses from Cecilia's in Branson almost 7 years ago. Well, this was on my Whipco board for February. And I finished Hope. I have an iron. There's heat marks. And I hope to go back and finish Love. When I started this is stitched on, I think it's 32 count. This is Guacamole from Weeks Dye Works. I just am not sure of the count. And I used all the called for flosses in this. When I started stitching this, I wasn't really used to stitching on linen. I had a lot of mistakes. But now that linen, I love linen, and I stitch a lot on it, I stitch on it very fast, and I was able to get it done. I think I did that whole thing, and that was probably like a weekend and a Monday night. Excuse me. I am parched. It may be 46 degrees out here, but when you're walking uphill, it's rough. So, very happy with that one. Let's move on. I also finished something that you guys have seen a lot, and this is my Prairie Schooler. There's a lot of mistakes in this one, guys. There's a lot of them. I don't need to show you the chart because it is a full finish. This is the 2019 Prairie Schooler. And I did this one on 18 count, the oatmeal kind of, 18 count oatmeal Aida. I am rethinking. I bought a whole bunch of oatmeal Aida to do some of the Prairie Schooler Santas on. This is the brightest white. And it's still, the white doesn't show up very well. So I am rethinking my next Prairie Schooler Santa. Now I'm going to kind of mix some haul in with some of my, as you can see, I'm going to mix haul in with some of my finishes just because they're all in the same bag and I don't want to have to go pull it out again. I have really been adding to my Prairie Schooler collection. Somebody posted about this on Instagram right after Christmas, and so I went and bought this. This is Prairie Schooler Songs of the Season. I'm planning on doing at least this one with the church. Oh, come all you faithful. I just love this. So there's some other patterns in my haul that I am going to be working on with some Christmas carols, because that's just something I was feeling it, you know. This one is another one that I purchased. I purchased this one while we were traveling over the summer. We were in Gatlinburg 2 or 3 times. I don't remember. I don't know if Steve remembers. And I purchased this at Dixie Darling in Pigeon Forge. I definitely want to do the big one, and I'm sorry for the glare. I'm going to try to move that. And then I'm also going to try to, I think this might be my next Santa. So yes, I still love Prairie Schooler patterns. You guys know I have a lot more than that, and I don't know when I'm going to get to them. So, all right. Let's see, what else? Okay, now I had another finish, I know, and I don't need to show you the pattern, and please forgive the tatteredness of it. I actually cut the fabric because what I do is to finish these are my Country Cottage samplers of the month, and I buy a certain size of fabric and I split it, and I actually finished April, and I'm so happy with this. This has a lot of mistakes in it too. February's hanging up. I finished March last year, so now I have April. I'm actually working on May. So hey, why don't I just go on to whips? Because I have a lot of whips. So one of my whips actually is the May Country Cottage Sampler of the Month. And this is how far I am. I love doing these. I stitch all of these on 32 count vintage country mocha. I have completed January, February, March, April, and December. I will be halfway through when I finish May, which I hope to finish. You might want me to turn that right outside up. Hopefully I'll finish that. And here is the photo. It's hard to see these. These are very small. There's the photo. It was hard for me to put that down. For some reason, for someone who hadn't stitched on Aida to about 2 or 3 years ago, or stitched on anything but Aida until 2 or 3 years ago, 32 count linen is just what I love to stitch on. And when I get to stitching on something that's 32 count, I don't want to put it down. I love 18 count. You're going to see some 18 count in my projects. But I don't know, 32 count just is so much more fun. I'm going to have to scratch things off so I don't forget. As I said, I have quite a few whips. I don't have the pattern for this, guys, but you can find this. I want to shout out to Hello from Liz Matthews. I could not find, there was an issue with downloading this from Etsy. I was going to fix it. It was like 2 or 3 months later. I was like, oh my goodness, I want to do this for Black History Month. And she actually was really kind enough to make sure I had this pattern that I'd purchased back in November. This is a piece from, it says, I have decided to stick with love. And at the end it says MLK. As you can see, I'm almost finished. I will link to the pattern below. I was working on this for Black History Month. I hope to have it finished by Monday night. I don't have that much left to do. It's going to be a rainy day here in Georgia tomorrow, so I'll probably be stitching a lot. I feel pretty certain I will get this finished, and I have an idea of how I want to fully finish it, which may require a trip to Hobby Lobby, so it might be next week before it's fully finished. Okay, we got that one down. There are so many more. Okay, let's talk about one of the big ones, though, before I get into some of the smaller ones, just so I can pull this out. You guys have seen this project also quite a bit. It's not in there. Hold on one second. This is all crazy. One Nation. I started this last year. I thought I would finish it in a year. Right. All these big ambitions. Oh, I was going to finish that. All of my Country Cottage Samplers of the Month. Well, that didn't happen. Guys, I stitched a lot. We do travel a lot. I now work full time. But I stitch so much. And you probably can tell I stitch almost every night. It's just that, you know, I get distracted. Oh, it's just like, ooh, there's a scroll. I'm stitching on this pattern and somebody posts something on Instagram. I'm like, wait, I got to have that. I don't want to start that. That's what happens. So once again, this is One Nation. This is huge. This will be the biggest project I've ever done myself. So what I decided to do, I was kind of doing one star, one state for a while. But my best friend, Kathy, she had kind of filled in all of this blue first. And it kind of makes sense because if you get this blue wrong, it's going to mess up the whole thing. So I have been working on filling in that blue. And that's my goal, is to get all that blue filled in, as you know, maybe by May or as soon as possible. I work on this when I feel like it. I was trying to work on it every week, and no, that wasn't. And I've actually done a few states. Hold on, I'll show you. But I've stopped doing states until, yeah, and I don't iron, guys. Y'all know that. So I'm already all the way through. I've got 3 rows of states. I'm already through South Carolina. So I'm just going to take that down. But it's fun. It's a fun stitch. And I worked on it a lot a couple of weeks ago. I think I put about 3 or 4 nights in it. There was some frogging. There was frogging. So, but I don't know when I'll have it finished. I've stopped making goals for myself. It would be nice if it was finished at the end of 2022. I don't know. I normally don't drink water when I'm doing Flosstube, but I am tired and I am thirsty, so pardon me. All right. So the other thing on my Whipco board, I just put my son's name, which is Lee, because he always has me working on projects. And when I started, I had something totally different in mind. Lee had something totally different in mind. So my son graduates from college in May. Yay! And we really couldn't come up with anything. He doesn't like real traditional stuff. And you guys who have seen all the things that I finished for him, the LaCroix can and the blocks. So he had picked out this, he's a photographer. This is just a black and white copy. He picked out this polar, and there's not a lot of color in this pattern anyway. He had picked out this pattern. We found it on Etsy. It's from Mind the Circle. And I'm stitching this on some very stiff 14 count Aida. And so I worked on that for a couple of nights, got some of the outlines done. But we were looking at Sarah at Sarah Stitches. She kind of enabled me. She told me about the hometown holidays, and my son loves to read, and there is this pattern, the bookstore. And I showed it to him and said, hey, do you want that for an ornament? And I could start working on it in the summer. Well, I didn't want to wait till the summer. So I've started working on this, and I had to actually change it a little bit because I'm stitching this on some 28 count Picture This Plus Crystal Legacy Cashel Linen. And this is all I've gotten done with this start. It's going to be, but I think I'll have it done by Christmas. I'm using all of the called for DMC except for in the tree. I have a lot of steamed broccoli. So that's Classic Colorworks steamed broccoli. I have a lot of that in stash, so I am going to be using that. So those were on my WIPCO board. My WIPCO board, every project that's called, I just want to work 4 nights on it, or 4 days, or 4 stitching sessions, and I met that definitely. So I will show my March WIPCO projects, which I'm excited about because I have a start in there, because yes, I put starts in my WIPCO. By the way, I realized I didn't tell you, my One Nation is stitched on 18 count Vintage Country Mocha. And this project, project from Liz Matthews, this is stitched on 18 count Moss from Color and Cotton, and I adore this color. And luckily, I'm going to have a good bit of it left. Then I'm going to be doing I think I'm going to use that for some other things. Excuse me. Things are falling off the table here. Okay, I'm trying not to talk too fast, because sometimes I do. All right, I have 2 more things. Yes, I have a lot of whips, and some of them are starts. So you guys know that I've been working on Heartstring Sampleries Sunday Stitches. And I knew as soon as this came out that this was going to be my next one. This is Blessed Assurance. Is this not gorgeous? So I have all of the called for colors except for, there's a little bit, this green in here. I just substituted a DMC that was really close to it because I wanted to start it so badly, and I didn't want to have to wait for the other color to come in. This also takes Brethren Blue, which was really hard to find, but Garon Stitchery had it, and I have some more things from them that you're going to really like. I really have only stitched on this a couple of Sundays because I've just stitched on other things, and this is how far I've gotten. And is that not pretty? And I am crazy about this fabric. This fabric, I actually kept the tag on it so I'd remember it. This fabric is 28 count Picture This Plus Heartland, and I love it. And my best friend has some of it. She was talking about how much she likes it too. It's just a really, it's similar to Vintage Country Mocha, but it is so pretty. And yeah, it goes this way, I think. Anyway, I don't even remember. It's okay. We're just good. Yeah. Gosh, I have a lot of crazy outtakes. All right, guys, it's almost spring, and I could not wait to stitch a spring pattern. I am so ready for spring to be here. So, you know that you just can't buy something and travel by itself. No chart travels alone. I love Primrose Cottage Stitches patterns, and I picked up Welcome Spring. I'm just stitching with colors from Stash. It's got a lot of called for DMCs, which I probably have, but I had already pulled the fabric that I wanted, and I was sitting here one night, and it was already down here and stuff that I might want to stitch, and I just felt like starting it, so I started it. I was actually talking to Sarah from Sarah Stitches on the phone when I stitched this. There's a lot of weird noise outside, guys. I don't know what it is. So I actually got the welcome done. And that's all I finished, but I should have this finished. Spring starts March 21st, 20th. Steve's asleep. He would tell me if he were awake because he knows everything. But this is going to be really cute. I have no idea how I'm going to finish it when I'm done. But I have some ideas. I just don't know which one I will go with. But I love this pattern. I am stitching this on 28 count even weave from Be Stitch Me. The color I believe is Lotus. I was in their club for a while, and it was one of their club fabrics. I actually stitched my Easter piece last year on this fabric, so I'm using the other half for that. I think that's all my whips. Oh, gosh, I'm exhausted. I've actually filled my fabric stash recently. I am trying not to buy a lot of stuff anymore. I'm not exactly stitching from stash. Yeah, I kind of am. I really just don't want to buy anything. I purchased some fabrics that I wanted. I purchased some patterns that will get me through to the end of the year. And I'm just really, it's not about being frugal. It's just like I have too much. And so, and we all do. And part of it is fun. I do have one piece coming that is part of Nashville Market. I've only found one thing that I really felt like I couldn't live without. So that will be coming, and I will show you guys that. But other than that, I've decided, okay, at the beginning of the year, maybe around market time, I'll just do a lot of haul. And then maybe, you know, when we're traveling and we know we're going to be in the vicinity of a cross-stitch store, I'll do some. And then maybe around Christmas, I'll ask for gift cards or whatever. But I just don't want to do a whole lot of haul. I'm just overwhelmed with my stash upstairs. So with that being said, I will show you some of the things I purchased as they show up, because almost everything that I purchased I have kitted up right now for something that I want to stitch on for this year. I will be trying to finish this year a lot of the patterns that I didn't finish last year that you may have seen if you watched me a long time ago. So I'll be trying to do that. So I just want to show you, I did buy some project bags. I knew I wanted to buy one, and I'm going to be also rearranging all my projects. So I went to Joyful Stitching. Deborah does amazing bags. I have so many of her bags. There's so many of them right here. It's not even funny. I wanted to get another patriotic bag because I have a lot of patriotic. And of course, how can you go wrong with Snoopy? Isn't this pretty? And of course, she puts in floss. So she put in a recipe. And I don't cook really, but I may try it. Who knows? But I love this little bag. So I haven't actually decided what's going where yet. So, but I'm going to be working and reorganizing my stash and putting things in different bags at some point. But that takes away from stitching time, so I don't know. All right, so then I just happened to be on Garwine Stitcheries. I'm in their Facebook group, and I just happened to be there, and they said, hey, we are having a bag sale. Okay, I don't really need a lot of bags, but you guys know that Steve was in the Air Force. So I bought this amazing bag. And I don't know if I'm going to put Steve's. I have a lot of patriotic, and I don't know if I'm going to put Steve's patterns in it. But look at I love the fabric inside. So I had to buy this. So I saw that. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get that. So I just thought, well, I'm going to scroll through. Well, my mom was a big I Love Lucy fan, and she collected I Love Lucy stuff. How could I not get this bag? So I did. I got the larger size because my mom has a project, and it's big. Or my mom doesn't have the project. I'm working on a project in honor of my mom who passed away 6.5 years ago, and it's a big kit. You guys have seen it. It's the Simplicity pattern kit. And so I'm going to put that in there and a few other things that I would think that she would like if I stitch them. But I'm going to empty up. I don't know exactly. The project I'm working on now for Steve is related to coffee. I know that's a shocker. And it's in a coffee-related bag. I don't know what's going to go in here yet. And I already have plans. I knew what was going to go in here because this is one that I wanted to order. I had been wanting to order this one for a while because I had something in mind. These two, we'll see. So they'll be out again at some point. All right, so that's it. That's all I have. I don't know. I'm trying to really, I don't know. We will be traveling next weekend. I am very, very busy at work. I love my job. I don't know if you guys know, I work full time now. I love my job, but it's really, really chaotic right now. And if you know what I do for a living, you understand why. So I don't have a lot of time to in the evening, or I don't like, and on my lunch hour, I just like to have lunch, and in the evening I like to stitch to kind of just forget about the whole day. So maybe I'll be back 2 Saturdays from now, but we'll see. Hopefully I could do that. I would like to try to do every other Saturday, or who knows. But anyway, I'm glad I got to spend some time with you today. Guys, I'm never going to have a lot of bells and whistles. It's just, this is fun for me. This is, if I have to start worrying about inserting pictures and music, that's going to feel like work. and two, I just like to sit here and talk to you guys. I do want to, the Absent-Minded Stitchers talked a lot about how Flosstube has changed. And guys, when I kind of stopped Flosstube, I'm just going to be transparent here, okay? I stopped Flosstube because we knew we were going back to traveling, which at the time, we don't do it now, was part of my job. I did a lot of travel writing, and we knew we were going to be traveling and doing things as it was getting close time to the summer. COVID was kind of, we were vaccinated, we felt safe traveling, and my thought process was, I will take this camera, you know, I just shoot on my iPhone. Thought process was, I would just take my phone, take this stand, which I think half the time I'm crooked anyway, but I would take this and I would just pack up all of my whips and all of my finishes, and I would shoot from wherever we were, and I would continue shooting every week. But when it really came down to a lot of, and I hate to say this, but it was like, we didn't have a whole lot of subscribers at the time. It's a lot of work for me to haul things around, even just from upstairs to downstairs. And the thought of hauling all of that on the road was just overwhelming at the time. We always thought sometime in the summer we might do one once a month or whatever, but we really got busy, and we were gone a lot. We did, you know, the traveling. I was just a freelance writer at the time, freelancing, and things were picking up there. There was just a lot. And to me, it was like, okay. And then we started doing videos on the road. And we just did them for fun, and then people started liking them. So, and when I say people, I mean like hotel groups and people who, you know, said, hey, will you come and do a video about our place? So that kind of steamrolled, and there just wasn't time. I enjoy doing these. These are fun. And I'm just in a place where if you want to watch, fine, that's great. But this is just about us having fun. And like I said, I don't have time to upload stuff and to do all those things. Maybe when I know I can be more consistent, maybe I would love to show off some of your work. I love what Sarah Stitches does. She inserts pictures of other people's work. I love doing that kind of stuff. That would be fun, but but right now, I'm not sure how consistent I'm going to be. So that's just being honest. I really missed doing this, but it just came down to what was the best use of my time at the time. And now I have a little bit more free time because I'm working full time, and we're only traveling twice a month on the weekends. We don't travel through the week anymore. So things are a lot different, and I feel like I have a little bit more time. But I don't want you to feel like I don't love you or anything, but gosh, I have life. And this is a hobby. And sometimes I got to worry about work and family and all of that too. And sometimes it is overwhelming. I'm sure all you guys are all in the same boat. We all just have a lot of life things going on. All right. I say that to say I love you guys. If you've watched this far, thank you. I appreciate it. And I hope that you will come back next time. And I will link the Absent-Minded Stitchers below because you need to hear what they had to say. I thought it was really, really interesting, and it really struck a chord with me and probably a lot of people. All right, guys. Now I'm doing that Southern goodbye. I'm leaving. Well, I'm really leaving. That's the Southern goodbye, you know. All right, guys. Love you guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.